Welcome back everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make homemade mac and cheese. All right, now you could use the oven for this, but today we're going to be using our Oklahoma Joe's Blackjack kettle. We're going to start by taking our cooking grate off, and we're only going to use one charcoal basket for this cook. So we'll take one out and move the other to the front of our barbecue. Then we'll get a few firelighters going. We'll lay our charcoal chimney down, and then we'll fill that up enough for one charcoal basket. All right, so we've got about 10 to 15 minutes before those briquettes are going to be ready, so we'll use that time to cook our pasta. Now we're going to be using elbow pasta today. The cooking times will vary between brands and size of your pasta, and we want to be cooking this just under al dente. So basically whatever recommended cooking time your pasta packet says, go around 2 to 3 minutes below that. So we're going to be using around 250 grams of pasta for this recipe. I'll put everything down in the description for you to check out if you want to have a look later on. But for now, I'm going to measure out the pasta in the tray I'm going to be using. I want to fill that up about 3/4 full, as once we add the cheese and everything else, that volume's going to increase. So I'm going to go ahead and measure up our pasta. That's just over half of that packet, so I reckon that's about 300 grams there. We'll pour that in, add a pinch of salt. We'll give it a stir, and like I said, we'll cook that until it's just under al dente. All right, so our briquettes are ready, our pasta's just about done, so what we'll do is dump our briquettes into our charcoal basket. Then we can put our cooking grate back on, shut our lid, and then we'll make sure both of our vents are completely open. So if you're using an oven or barbecue, you want to get that to around 180 Celsius or 350 Fahrenheit. So we'll give that a few minutes to get there. While that's happening, we'll drain our pasta and get started on our cheese sauce. Right, so I'm just going to drain this pasta water, then we'll put our pasta back in the bowl and use this saucepan to make our cheese sauce. Right, so we're just going to dump our pasta into the bowl, and I'm just going to add a drizzle of olive oil, and then we'll give it a stir so our pasta doesn't clump together. All right, and now we can set that aside. All right, before we get into the cheese sauce, you don't have to do this, but we're going to be adding some chopped sausage to our mac and cheese. So I'm just going to get that into our barbecue. That's just going to add a bit more flavour. That's already been smoked, that sausage, so we basically just need to reheat it back through. You could add things like bacon or prosciutto if you wanted a little bit more extra flavour or that meaty hit. And for anyone wondering, that is our steak shooter Kransky made by Costello's Small Goods, which is available at Austral Meat. So while that's happening, let's make this cheese sauce. All right, so on a medium heat, we're going to add in around 2 tablespoons of butter. We just want to melt that down. And we're going to add in the same amount of all-purpose flour. We're not going to add it all at once. We'll just probably add half first, mix it around. Then we'll start adding in the rest. Add in a tiny bit more, and then I'm happy with that consistency. All right, I'm happy with how that's looking. And now I've got a cup of milk. I'm just going to gradually add that in while I'm stirring. And now we just want to keep whisking until we've got rid of any lumps. I'm also going to add in around 1/4 cup of thickened cream. Just going to add a tiny bit more milk. Right, so like I said, you want that smooth. You don't want any lumps in there. What we can do now is pour in a little bit of our garlic gold seasoning, or salt and pepper will do the trick. And now it's time to add our cheese. Now we are going to go with around 1 cup of extra sharp cheddar. We just want to continue stirring that until that cheese is melted through and it's all mixed in nicely. Now I'm going to add in 1/2 cup of gruyere cheese. Same thing, just stir that through until it's all melted in nicely. If you've got another favourite cheese, then feel free to add that in. I'm going to add a touch more of that sharp cheddar in. And that's becoming nice and thick now. That's a really good consistency for our mac and cheese. All right, so what we'll do now is we'll turn our heat off, and now we can start gradually adding in that elbow pasta. All right, we just want to mix that in. Just going to switch to the wooden spoon. You can also have a taste at this stage as well. If you think it needs more seasoning or cheese, then now's your time to add it in. Now the last thing we want to do is just get this sausage, dice it up nice and fine, and add it in. And now we'll just add that sausage and mix it through. Now we'll get this into our foil tray. We'll quickly make a topping and get it in the barbecue. All right, so I'm just going to half fill the tray for now. I'm going to sprinkle some more cheese through, and we'll fill the rest of the tray up. And now we'll make a quick topping for it. All right, so real simple. In a little fry pan, you just want to melt around 1 tablespoon of butter down. Then we're going to add in around 1/4 cup of panko breadcrumbs. We'll mix them around. And we're going to add around 1 tablespoon of parmesan cheese. Mix that around, and then we can top our mac and cheese with that and get it in the barbecue. All right, and that's gonna go into our barbecue for around 30 minutes until that's nice and golden brown on top. All right, so after about 40 minutes, this is what it's looking like. I did rotate it after 20 minutes just so it browned off nice and even. But seriously, have a look at that. Right, and with mac and cheese, you want to be serving it pretty much straight away. Look at that. That is so unbelievably tasty. Mac and cheese would have to be one of the best, if not the best, barbecue side dish. And like I said earlier, you can get as creative as you want with it. You can add your own sausages, you can add leftover brisket, pulled pork, bacon, do whatever you want. Get creative. I'll put the recipe down in the description for you to have a look at. Make sure you've subscribed to our channel so you don't miss our next videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.